Okay guys, so I'm going to walk you through your final essay assignment. You guys read Hamlet, and you looked at how different elements contributed to this dramatic structure, and then you actually watched some versions of how that is translated to the stage or the screen. So I want you guys to start drawing on all the knowledge that you've had from the first three essays, so how to use different literary elements within the structure of a drama or a play. So what you're going to do is you are going to choose either a theme or a character. So one theme or one character. And I've narrowed it down to one because I want you guys really, really digging into the play to see how these things are portrayed. And then you're going to analyze the development of that theme or character over the course of the play. So um, when I say a theme or character, that doesn't mean that you can't kind of keep it like an umbrella term. So for themes, you could do something kind of very broad that you could bring other ideas into. So things like sin and redemption, or madness, which of course is a pretty popular one. You could do something like the notion of the word art, and how often it appears in this text. So you could talk about within the concept of art, which remember means if someone is artful, that means they're kind of a con artist. They kind of put on a false persona. You could talk about falsity and identity and all these different things that kind of relate to it. But I want you to have one overarching kind of terminology here. But did you notice I did say sin and redemption? So if you have something like a twin thing that kind of goes together, like you can't have one without the other, that's fine too. Or you can do a character analysis. So I've opened this up to either or because this is more, themes are more of a traditional literary analysis, whereas the character analysis is a little more in-depth, focusing on the development of a particular character over the course of the play. And to do this, you'll have to draw on specific literary terminology related to characterization. So things like flat, dynamic, round, particular archetypes, whatever it may be. A lot of people, obviously are going to want to do Hamlet, and that's fine. He's a great character. There's plenty to say about him. But you can also do other characters as well and how they relate to each other or Hamlet. So you could do something like Gertrude, the queen. And she's a fascinating character when you look at how she interacts with other people. So you could do her development over the play. She has a crisis of conscience at the end, and you could talk about whether or not when she takes the drink, whether or not you think she knows that the drink is poisoned, and if that's just her way of getting out, or if that's an accident. So that's just an idea. So you could do Gertrude, you could do Horatio, you could do Claudius. You could do Rosencrantz and Guildenstern together as one. That would be fine too. So I'm going to let you guys choose. Whichever one you choose, you're going to have to obviously draw on specific evidence from the text to really support your claims. And you're going to have to use the terminology that you've learned whenever applicable. So I gave you guys that document back in the first week of this unit that had dramatic terminology on it, such as the dramatic structure, the five different, the exposition, the rising action, all that. Also things like stagecraft. You had that document somewhere, so draw on those resources whenever you can. So you need to have 2 scholarly articles to support your analysis because this is Hamlet, and there is no shortage of research done on Hamlet in scholarship. Remember that scholarly articles must come from the databases. So if you go into Academic Search Complete or JSTOR or EBSCO, you type in Hamlet, 1,012 different articles will pop up. So make sure you're using published scholarly resources, things like Shmoop and 123helpme.com. Those don't count. So remember that the reason I'm having you guys use scholarly articles is because I want you guys getting used to drawing on published research in whatever field that you work in, engineering, science, nursing, whatever it may be. You're going to have to at some point start looking at published research and how that impacts your field. So it's a really good training to kind of get used to how they all fit together. So like I said, the choice here between theme and character is yours, so choose carefully. Whichever one you feel like you have a lot to say about, I would suggest you choose that one. And then make sure that when you're doing your analysis that it has depth and meaning, and that you draw concrete evidence from both the text and the credible sources. Your essay is going to be due on Sunday, May 10th at midnight. That is week 16 of our class. That is the very last day of our class sessions. You will go into finals week right after that. So week 17 is actually finals week. But you don't have anything due from me finals week. You will have an extra credit opportunity that week. So you'll see that under the folder. It's called finals week. But there is no actual exam or anything like that. So if you choose not to take advantage of the extra credit, then this is the last thing that you have to do. Your essay needs to be 3 to 4 pages, requires standard MLA, and that you must remember that it's checked by SafeAssign. If you'll notice, I have it due Sunday as usual because it's the last day of that week. But I'm going to have to turn around and have your all's grades turned in by probably the last official day of finals, which is May 14th, I think. So the earlier you get it into me, the more I can put comments on it. The later it gets into me, those coming in about Sunday, on Sunday, probably Saturday or Sunday, I'm not going to be able to put many comments on there, really, if any, because I will have 90 essays to turn around in about 3 or 4 days. So the earlier you can get it to me, the better, and the earlier you get it to me, the earlier you're done. So you're going to be assessed on this criteria, but let me rephrase that. I'm not trying to put any pressure on you to turn it in early. You have until Sunday, of course, so take all the time that you need. It's just if you want extensive comments, they're probably not going to happen if it's coming in by Sunday. And then lastly, you're going to be assessed on the criteria of having a fully developed argumentative thesis statement. You're going to need to have close analysis of both the play and its major concepts, and then couch that within the dramatic structure that you've learned. Lots of concrete evidence, both from the primary and the secondary sources, and then, of course, proper everything, page length, MLA, number of sources, etc. Always have your bibliography as well for your citations. And then lastly, you'll need to have the fully developed essay structure, so you'll have the usual significant introduction, clear main ideas, and a good solid conclusion. And then lastly, you'll need to have careful, clear organization of ideas. So if you have any questions about this, let me know. I tried to leave it fairly open for y'all, so you have lots of room to play. Have some fun with it. Be creative. If I get 100 essays on madness, then that's not terribly fun for me to have to grade the same thing over and over again. And it's really good if you can kind of stand out and be a little bit different than what everybody else is saying. That's a really good mark of scholarship. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I think you guys are doing really great. Keep it up.